The Shah's mistake was to want to do too much too fast.
Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, Persia's last emperor, was a key figure in world politics in the second half of the 20th century. His fiercest opponent, Ruhollah Mousavi Khomeini. The Ayatollah becomes the bearer of hope for all those who are against the Shah.
They became very fierce antagonists, absolutely. And the Shah developed an almost obsession with them.
Their rivalry lasted for almost their entire lives. In the end, the Shah is defeated. The Ayatollah is victorious, and with him, Islamic fundamentalism, a new challenge for world politics. Before Reza Shah was forced to abdicate, he had started extensive reforms in Iran. He wanted Persia to become a modern state. This included the fact that women were no longer allowed to wear a chador, the traditional veil. The clergy saw this as an assault on religious matters and protested. The young Shah acts surprisingly resolutely. Like his father, he wants to modernize state and society, but end his father's confrontational course with the clergy. Hitler's attack on the Soviet Union, the British and the Americans depend on Iran for the transport of heavy war materials to Russia, for the fight against the German Reich. In November 1949, the American President Harry S. Truman and the American people welcomed Shah Mohammad Reza exuberantly. But not exactly selflessly. They want to secure access to the huge oil reserves in Iran. The Shah, on the other hand, needs support for his plans to modernize Iran from the bottom. He's interested in all technical innovations like the Hoover Dam. Not everyone likes his enthusiasm for the West. But the oil embargo soon forces the country's economy to its knees. Extremist parties like the Communist Tudeh party take advantage. They become very popular. The Shah temporarily flees into exile. On the 11th of January 1963, the Shah introduces an extensive program of reforms. He calls it the White Revolution. A national referendum strengthens the ambitious program, which includes the abolition of the feudal system, privatization of state-owned companies, the fight against illiteracy, and the introduction of women's voting rights. Khomeini takes advantage of his gain in power. He abandons his hitherto withdrawn position and openly opposes the Shah's politics. For the first time, he publicly warns him not to carry on with his father's ways. And counter-demonstrations. The Shah deploys the military to the holy city of Qom. Blood is shed. Khomeini is arrested and sentenced to death. Thanks to the pleading of numerous clerics, the sentence is changed, and Khomeini is exiled to Najaf in Iraq. When the ruling couple visits the German opera in Berlin, the ugly face of the Shah regime is revealed. Members of his secret service Savak attack demonstrators who are protesting against suppression and torture in Iran. The situation escalates. The visit of the Shah and the protests against his politics mark a turning point in the history of West Germany. Those who politically oppose the Shah's regime face imprisonment in the Iranian Secret Service Savak's prison, where torture and executions are daily fare. This was one thing the students had demonstrated against when the Shah visited Germany.
It's the fast-moving revolution. Maybe it is the fastest revolution in human history because everything happened within 4 months.
With every passing day, the resolve of the Shah's regime to stay in power was weakening, and the resolve of the opposition to demand his removal was increasing.
This means that the Western powers dropped the Shah and his regime. On the 16th of January 1979, the Shah and his family leave Iran. The Shah expects the crisis to be over soon so that he can return. It turns out to be a farewell for good.